Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. Today, we from Group 7 will present you about prepositions. Let me introduce you my group members. The first presenter is me, Amirul Iman bin Hassan. The second presenter is Muhammad Nuruddin bin Muhammad. The third presenter is Muhammad Amirul Iman bin Muhammad Zamri. And the fourth presenter is Sulaiman bin Muhammad Najib. First, I will introduce you about prepositions. What is prepositions? Second, Muhammad Nuruddin will present you about prepositions in time. And the third, Muhammad Amirul Iman will present to all of you about prepositions in place. And the last one, Sulaiman will present you the others prepositions. First, introductions of prepositions. Preposition are short words such as on, in, and to that usually stand in front of nouns, sometimes also in front of gerund verbs. Even advanced learner of English find prepositions difficult, as a one-to-one translation is usually not possible. One preposition in your native language might have several translations depending on the situation. There are hardly any rules as to when to use which prepositions. The only way to learn prepositions is looking them up in dictionary, reading a lot in English, and learning useful phrases off by heart.
I will present to all of you about preposition in time. There are several types of preposition in time. First, on. Usage of on in to tell the day of the week. The example is, I will arrive on Monday. Next, in. There are four uses of in. First, to tell the month or season. Example, this should be done in April. Second, to tell the time of the day. Example, he plays tennis in the morning. Third, to tell the year. Example, we visit a friend in Canada in 2006. Lastly, to tell a certain period of time. Example, I'll call you back in an hour. Next, at. There are three usages of at. First, for night. Example, she got to the hotel late at night. Next, for weekend. Example, the office is closed at the weekend. Lastly, to tell the certain period of time. Example, at 9:30, Tom and Sid were sent to bed as usual. Next, since. The usage is to tell from a certain point of time. Example, she was live here since 1980. Next, for. Usage of for is to tell over a certain period of time. Example, the contract is for 2 years. Next, ago. Usage of ago is to tell a certain time in a past. Example, they lived here 2 years ago. Next, before. The usage is to tell earlier than the certain point of time. Example, this museum was built before 2003. Next, to. The usage of is telling the time. Example, we opened at 10 to 6. Next, past. The usage is to tell the time. Example, the shop closed at 10 past 6. Next, to, till, until. The usage is to mark the beginning and end of a period time. The office is open from Monday to till or until Friday. Next, till, until. The usage is to tell in the sense of how long something is going to last. The example is, the shop will be closed until Saturday. Lastly, by. There are two usages of by. First, in the sense of the letters. Example, I will be back by 6 o'clock. Second, up to certain time. Example, by 11 o'clock. I had read 5 pages.
Now, I will present to all of you about prepositions of place. There are several types of prepositions of place. First, in. There are four uses of in. First, it is used for room, building, street, town, or country. For example, in the kitchen. Second, it is used for book or paper. For example, in the book. Third, it is used for car or taxi. For example, in the car. Lastly, it is used for picture or word. For example, in the picture. Next, at. There are 4 uses of at. First, meaning next to or by an object. For example, at the door. Second, for table. For example, at the table. Third, for event. For example, at a concert. Lastly, place where you are to do something tactical such as watch a film. For example, at the cinema. Next, under. Under is used on the ground but lower than or covered by something else. For example, the bag is under the table. Next, below. Below is used when lower than something but above ground. For example, the fish are below the surface. Next, above. Above is used when higher than something else but not directly over it. For example, a path above the lane. Next, into. Into is used when we are enter a room or building. For example, go into the kitchen or the house. Next, over. There are 4 uses of over. First, cover by something else. For example, put a jacket over your shirt. Second, meaning more than. For example, over 10 years of age. Third, getting to the other side. For example, walk over the bridge. Lastly, overcoming an obstacle. For example, climb over the wall. Next, on. There are 7 uses of on. First, attach. For example, the picture on the wall. Second, for a place or with a river. For example, London lies on the Thames. Third, being on a surface. For example, on the table. Fourth, for a certain side, whether left or right. For example, on the right. Fifth, for a floor in a house. For example, on the first floor. Sixth, for public transport. For example, on the bus. Lastly, for television or radio. For example, on the radio. Next, to. There are 3 uses of to. First, movement to person or building. For example, go to cinema. Second, movement to a place or country. For example, go to London. Lastly, for bed. For example, go to bed. Next, across. There are 3 uses of across. First, getting to the other side, also over. For example, walk across the bridge. Second, getting to the other side. For example, swimming across the lake. Next, through. Through is used when something with limits on top, bottom, and the sides. For example, drive through the tunnel. Next, by, next to, or beside. It is used when left or right of somebody or thing. For example, Jane is standing by or next to or beside the car. Next, onto. Onto is used when movement to the top of something. For example, jump onto the table. Next, towards. It is used when movement in the direction of something, but not directly to it. For example, go 5 steps towards the house. Lastly, from. It is used in the sense of where from. For example, a flower from garden.
Well, for the last part, I will explain to all of you about the prepositions that can be used for other situations, which are the situations are not describing time or place. So here we go. The first one is of. There are two usages listed here for of. Point number one is who or what does it belong to? For example, a page of the book. Point number two, what does it show? For example, the picture of the palace. The next preposition is on. The first point, walking or riding on horseback. Second one is entering a public transport vehicle. For instance, get on the bus. The next preposition is by. There are also two usages. The first one, rise or fall of something. For example, price have risen by 10%. Point number two, traveling. For instance, I went to Ipoh by car. Next is out of. Out of is used for leaving a car or taxi or whatsoever. For example, I get out of the taxi. Alright, the next preposition is from. To use this word, you can just imagine that you have got a birthday present or something else, and from is used to show who is the giver. For instance, I got a birthday present from my cousin. Okay, the next one is by. By is used to show who made it. For example, a book by Aisyah Hijana. The usage for in, entering a car or taxi. For example, get in the car. Next is of with double F. Of can use to show a person who leave a public transport vehicle. For example, get off the train. The last preposition is at. At is used for age. For instance, she learned Spanish at 45. Alright, that's all from us. I hope you guys may understand with what we have explained just now. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.